Hi, my name is Greg DeRocher, and I'm President and CEO of the Cambridge Chamber of Commerce, and thank you for stepping up to keep your workplace safe. Just a few housekeeping rules before we get into the actual screening process itself. These kits are not for anyone showing signs or symptoms related to COVID-19. Do not use the screen to verify infection. If they are showing signs, they must leave the workplace immediately and arrange for a PCR test with public health within 24 hours. The federal and provincial governments have made these available for small and medium-sized businesses for free. However, there is a mandatory requirement that you have agreed to by signing the form that you dropped off to us. You must report the screen results. We make it very easy at chambercheck.ca. Finally, if you screen an employee presumptive positive or inconclusive, they must leave the workplace, contact local public health, and arrange for a PCR test within 24 hours. These requirements are vital. We cannot keep our workplaces safe unless you are following the guidelines, putting extra efforts into keeping your employees and their families safe. 1/3 of all infections are asymptomatic, no symptoms at all, and 55% of all confirmed cases caught it from an asymptomatic carrier. If we can find the asymptomatic carriers, we can dramatically curb the spread and get back to normal as vaccines roll out. This process is extremely easy, but according to government regulations, they must be done under the direct supervision of an individual who is known to have been trained, and that would be you now. All the necessary products are in the box for individual screens. There are some other things you need to pay attention to. The manual, it is in a variety of languages, so don't worry. There are only a few pages you need to read, but please do it. It answers a lot of questions that we get, so head to the manual first. There are also 2 quality control swabs, one that will show a positive result, one that will show a negative result. It's important. Do not use these to swab someone's nose. They are not to be used. They are only for quality control. If you feel the kits aren't working, use them to validate test pads. They're preloaded so that they will produce a positive or negative. Don't worry, the positive one only has the proteins from COVID-19 and is not infectious. Most times, just ignore them. You receive only enough buffering agent for 25 screens. Don't spill it. Don't try and cut corners. It's important you use the right amount. Now, let's get into the screen. You first take the vial, and you make sure you load it with buffering agent first. It's very, very simple. You'll see a little line on the plastic vial. This is very squeezable and pliable. It's a little line down there. You only put enough buffering agent to come to the line, just to the line, not over it and not under it. Right at it. Once you have the buffering agent loaded into the vial, you will have your employee open up their swab. This is very simple. It's non-invasive. It just goes an inch into the nose, about 2 centimeters, straight up inside the nose, and you've got to swish it around against the edges of the inside of the nose. You do that in each nostril. You turn it around, spin it around, go around the nose 4 or 5 times, making sure that you're leaving the swab in the nose a minimum of 5 to 7 seconds. Then you take it and put it in the other nostril and do exactly the same thing, moving it around. Once your employee is done, they can just set it into the tube. At that point, you can take the tube. You need to spin it around 4 or 5 times in the tube, pressing the swab up against the edges of the tube, and then take it about halfway up, squeeze the tube with your 2 fingers, and just squeeze out the swab a little bit. You will also notice there's a break point on the plastic part of the swab. Just simply snap it off and let the swab fall back into the tube. You are now ready for screening. You put the lid back on, and your employee can actually open this and prepare their screening pad beforehand. What they should be doing is taking this screening pad. It has 2 spots on it. One is where the agent or the buffering agent goes in. The other one is where the result will come out. Make sure that they write their name on the back, so have a little marker ready for them. They can put their name right on the back of the pad first so that you know whose test it is. They get it ready, and you take this out, and you'll notice at the bottom of the vial, there's a little white cap. You just unscrew the white cap, and you put 5 drops into where the the testing area is, just the little round one where you receive the buffering agent. And that's it. You just simply wait for the result. Well, you don't have to wait too long. It's only about 15 or 20 minutes before the result will be evident. A red line under the C is presumed negative. A red line under the C and the T is presumed positive, and that individual needs to be sent immediately, removed from the workplace, and sent to public health for a full PCR test. A red line only under the T is inconclusive, and they should also be referred to public health for a full PCR test. There are some things that are hazardous waste. The paper actually is just general waste. You can throw that in the garbage. The vial and the used screening pad are considered by the Ontario government as hazardous waste. Keep those in a separate container, and you're welcome to bring them back to our office when you pick up your refill. And we have a bin here that will collect the hazardous waste, and we'll make sure it's properly disposed of. Thanks very much.